Peace, peace. Welcome to the YouTube live book reading of Sacred Sounds. Welcome, YouTube. Magic and healing through words and music. And I'm your moderator and narrator, Uriel, Riley. So, today we start a new chapter. Peace, YouTube. Welcome. Happy new moon. This energy has been just fabulous, right? Been powerful too. So, I want to give honor to one of our great elders that has elevated, the great Jesse Jackson. Thank you. Moment of grace and silence for our elevated ancestor who's guided us all this way. So, definitely want to give honor. And honoring the new moon as well as the solar eclipse. We pick up on page 133, chapter 6, a very special chapter, The Art of Magical Storytelling. Peace. Welcome. We're pushing towards 600 on this peaceful part of YouTube. So thank you so much for being here, reading books with us. Chapter 6, The Art of Magical Storytelling. There are many theories of origins of storytelling. It may have arisen out of a form of playful self-entertainment. It may have arisen as a means to explain the phenomenal world. It may have arisen as a means to honor the supernatural, or even out of a need to communicate experiences to others. Regardless of its origins, the art of magical storytelling lies deep within us all. The task now is to search it out and to make it grow once more. This task involves awakening the creative imagination, for the heart of the tradition lies in the imagination. We must develop the power to evoke emotion together with spiritual conviction by combining the images with greater power and significance. Today's magical storyteller must develop a deeper understanding of symbols and people, and he or she must also develop a stronger sense of selectivity and discrimination in their application. In her book, The World of Storytelling, Anne Pulowski defines storytelling as the art or craft of narration of stories in verse or in prose, as performed or led by one person before a live audience. The stories may be spoken, chanted, or sung, with or without musical, pictorial, and or other accompaniment, and may be learned from oral, printed, or mechanically recorded sources. One of its purposes must be that of entertainment. Magical storytelling is the use of storytelling to open to expanded perceptions, enlightenment, and magical states of consciousness. Anyone who has experienced an effective guided meditation has experienced a form of magical storytelling. The meditation utilizes images and scenarios designed to elicit specific effects. This is why the ancient occult technique of path working, most often found in Kabbalistic practices, is so effective in the process of unfoldment. Magical storytelling awakens the child within us that still remembers and recognizes the subtle energy plays of life. It helps us to become again as a little child. A biblical scripture encourages everything has life to a child. Stones are alive. Streams speak a gurgling language and have a will because the water is flowing. Animals think or are inhabited by a spirit. Things can feel and act, and although parents may say otherwise, the child knows differently. Unfortunately, this true knowledge becomes buried. Magical storytelling provides a simple and emotional appeal to that child within us. It stirs long dormant feelings and it can quicken our compassion and sympathy. It offers wit and wisdom while inspiring our imaginations once more. It encourages us to trust that the small acts we perform in our lives are very important. It inspires to action. There are many victims and seekers in the magical tales of the world. Bad luck must be dealt with. It can't be ignored. Stories can teach the responsibility we have of acting in our life circumstances, giving greater depth of meaning to the axiom that evil prospers when good people do nothing. Magical storytelling helps us to uncover solutions to our problems. Internal processes are brought forth and made more comprehensible by the story events. It helps to translate psychic realities into images that will assist understanding. While the symbolic interpretation of the tales may be overstated and to many people may seem inconsequential, it does help to train us in seeing hidden significances and patterns which can carry over into our day to day life perceptions. While many may contest individual interpretations, we must remember that every tale has the potential of resonating uniquely within each of us, and that is where it reveals its true power. Peace, highest heart, love. Welcome, YouTube. Amaz in the building. Peace, Marquise. Highest heart, love. We are celebrating by reading Sacred Sounds now in the sixth chapter. Yes, we made it to the sixth chapter. One of my favorite chapters of this book, The Art of Magical Storytelling. And you know, I use this in my poems a lot. Oh, yeah, and that's your favorite quote too. Wow, that's amazing. That is real, man. When good people do nothing, then evil succeeds. Oh, wow. All right. So, page 135 in the middle. Thank you for the likes and subs. We're pushing towards 600 subs on this peaceful part of YouTube where we read books and learn from masters. I'm a master fitness trainer, Uriel Riley. Thank you for being here. All right, here we go. Moving on. The formula for magical storytelling. Everyone can tell stories, But the ancient mystics and bards would infuse them with specific images to elicit even more dynamic effects. They would meditate upon them and then vocalize in a manner to most suit the audience for whom the story was directed. An effective magical storyteller often describes an inner state of consciousness through the images and the actions of the characters. The story becomes a mirror reflecting an aspect of the inner world. Magical storytelling is an interpretive art, and it can be applied to all professions. It can be used to establish rapport, to illustrate points, to impart information, to create a mood, and to build climaxes. It is a form of aesthetic and spiritual communication that changes in accordance with the circumstances of the telling. There is a large realm of material to draw upon for the individual wishing to learn this powerful art. The more tales that you become familiar with, the wider the resonance with the audience. There is a plethora of myths, legends, epics, fables, parables, ballads, anecdotes, folklore, and fairy tales to choose from. Because of the wide selection available, deciding which stories to adapt to the magical process is not always easy. Begin by reading or rereading those myths and tales that you enjoyed as a child. They obviously touched you for a reason, and they may reflect energies intimate in your life. Look to your ancestry and race. Explore the myths and tales associated with those cultures. If you practice a particular religion, explore the myths and tales associated with it. Begin by choosing tales that are tied to an aspect of your life. It's very key. So we'll put a pin here, definitely. Drop pin right here. When we can apply it to our life, then we're gaining the wisdom and knowledge and understanding and completion. And that's what we want to do with information. And that's also why I give a couple days in between the readings, because we want to gain not only the information, but the wisdom and knowledge and be able to extract it as well as to basically superimpose information into our life. This is very key. Thank you so much for being here. Wow. I have to drop a pin there because that is the very key of storytelling. Is how does it apply to your life and to others that you're reaching, right? All right, here we go. Any tale that you decide to use in the magical process should have three touchstones. Here we go. One, universality. The idea expressed within the tale is potentially interesting to everyone. It may evoke a common emotional response, or it may touch on a common experience to all or most of the audience. It has or can be made to have relevance to the life experience of most people. individuality. 2. This is the fresh approach you apply to the subject of the story. It includes your own choice of words, images, and method of organizing the events to elicit the effect you most wish to create. And 3, suggestion. The magical storytelling should leave the audience with something to do. It suggests enough so that the individual's own imaginative faculties can find correlations and applications to his or her own individual life, pointing out the significance or rubbing the morale in can destroy the magical aspect. Keep in mind that the story is a catalyst for change, but the individual must take the catalyst and respond in his or her own fashion. The audience must find its own application of the story. This is very key on this one. This is very key. All right. So get the information right. And that's what part of crystallizing the energy and information will do, right? It'll take us to a point where we say, this is how I need to use it. This is what I'll use it for. And when they find the application in it, this starts to give a pathway of what we're talking about, path working, right? This is why it's great to have mentors as well, because they can walk you along through it. And sometimes we envision them with us. So I want to definitely highlight that. To be able to activate, very key. All right, now give this gem and then continue. A healing gem. So when being a healer, a holistic healer, we facilitate healing to the people, right? It's not our job for that person to accept and use the techniques of healing. All our job is to do is to facilitate. It's the other person's that is receiving it. It's their responsibility to use it and heal themselves. You only become a true healer when you can heal yourself first. All right. Top of page 137. Having chosen your story, analyze and edit it for your own purposes. While doing the analysis, try to understand the people, identify their major traits, motivations, relationships to others, their purposes, etc. Develop an arresting introduction and determine a variety of sensory images that could be employed. Limit its length so that it lasts 5 to 7 minutes. Determine ways in which you can adapt this same story to different audiences, taking into consideration language and style as well as the theme itself. Always be aware of the theme of any story you decide to work with. Often, the speaking occasion may determine the theme. You may wish to develop a list of stories that fall under the same theme category or which can be adopted to suit a particular theme. There is an old tale that comes from the Nupe of Nigeria called The Talking Skull. I have adopted this story for use in such themes as the importance of reticence in speech, considerations in making a name for yourself, the power of our words, the effects of words upon the health of the body and in others. Many folk tales and legends are easily adapted for the magical storytelling process. Most stories in the magical storytelling process follow a particular structure. The content may vary, but the form rarely does. The story must have a beginning. Most often, it very simply states the who, what, when, and where aspects of the story itself. There is an initial incident which sets the tone for the development that follows, leading to a climax and a conclusion. Top of page 138 of Sacred Sounds. We are in the sixth chapter, The Art of Magical Storytelling. Thank you so much for being here, reading this great, masterful book Ted Andrews left for us. For any story, memorize the sequence. The idea is to develop a flow without memorizing the story word for word. There must be a fluency to the story in its telling, one that comes alive through both verbal and nonverbal techniques. The storytelling process may seem easy and spontaneous, but as with any art, it is practiced and honed with each telling. Laws of form. There are resources to help you improve your magical storytelling. For example, Axel Ulrich wrote an article called The Epic Laws of Folk Narrative. In this article, he outlined the laws of form as they apply to epics. Many of these same laws can be applied in creating a magical formula for the storytelling process, one that will elicit a more dynamic effect. Law of opening. Don't begin with sudden actions. Move from calm to excitement. A traditional story hour opening is the lighting of the candle. This serves as a call to attention. This will be explored further at the end of this chapter in an exercise in magical storytelling. Law of closing. Thank you so much for the likes and subs. Awesome. Reading books. Peaceful part of YouTube. This corner where we lift up the people. You won't see us belittling anyone or, you know, lashing out on anyone. This is that peaceful part where you're welcome. Be in peace with us. Law of closing. Don't end abruptly. Move from excitement to calm. Use humor or surprise or twist as a final play of magical energy through the story. The closing is often determined by the story and its particular theme. Some end with a nonsense or rhymes. There is also a ceremonial ending, which is often applied in formal storytelling hours. This can be the extinguishing of the story hour candle after the making of a wish, or it can be any other ceremony developed for the occasion. Law of repetition. This is used for emphasis. It builds tension and helps to fill out the narrative. Events or situations are often repeated 3 times, as 3 is a magical number associated with the rhythms of the awakening child and new birth. Law of 3. This law often appears in myths, legends, and tales with great frequency. Spells are repeated 3 times. There are 3 objects, 3 people, etc. 3 is especially strong in Greek, Celtic, Teutonic, and Semitic tales. In India, the tales often have the law of 4 as its key rhythm. The law of contrast. Sometimes this is called the law of two. Two is seen. Two is often the maximum number in a scene that are active. There may be others, but they are often nothing more than onlookers. There is usually a contrasting polarity which resonates with primal polarities deep within our own consciousness, young and old, male and female, large and small. It also enables interaction that is more easily relayed verbally. Law of logic. There must be a theme influencing the plot in the magical storytelling process. This logic may not be the logic of the natural world, but it must apply to the world of the story itself, whether it is in the world of animism, the world of magic, or any other world. This logic makes possible a union between the actual and the ideal. It begins to reveal a means of bridging the two worlds together, either by having them come together in the story itself or by bridging the story world to the real world of the audience. And law of single strand. Law of a single strand. Said, wow. Thank you so much for reading with us and being here with us. Anyway, hi, it's Heart Love. All right. Page 140 at the top. Law of a single strand. Don't go back and fill in details. Allow the background to unfold within the dialogue of the tale itself. Let it flow with a progressive series of movements that lead logically to the conclusion, whether predictable or surprising. We'll pause right here. Continue back with this 6th chapter of Sacred Sounds, the art of magical storytelling. Sacred sounds. Discover the magical power of singing, speaking, and storytelling. Magic and healing through words and music. Thank you so much for being here and reading with us. Happy Wednesday. We want to give a highest heart love and shout out to one of my favorite pianists in the entire world. Happy solar return to the great Lori and Speed. We love you so much. Highest heart love. Happy solar return to the great Lori and Speed, who has released a new, if you will, rendition of Love's Last Breath, which is a very special song. Go out and check it out. If you haven't already, please go check out Somewhere in Time. It's a magical, magical journey. And the deluxe album has wonderful storytelling, poetry in it that tells a story of the journey through it. And it's amazing. Somewhere in Time by Lorianne Speed. Thank you so much for being here with us, shaking it up on YouTube, reading books. All right, it's hard love. We got some work today to do again. So much love. I'm going to give honor and glass of love water to the elevation of the great Jesse Jackson. Held his own, fought the good fight. We honor you. And we want to honor the loves and friends and family here that are still with us. Great Lorianne Speed, we love you. Happy solar return. Hope you're enjoying it all and that you're receiving all of the wonderful gifts and blessings to you with a whole and open heart. We love you. All our friends and family. Ice heart love. Mm. Mm. Oh, that's so great. I love you. I love you. I love you. Glass of love water. We shake it up on YouTube, powering up the people. We lift them up. We have to. You know, yeah, you will never see me putting people down or, you know, angry. That's why this is the peaceful part of YouTube. So you can come in and get some of this resonance of peace, the resonance of mastery and encouragement. Happy new moon. Woo! What a day. I will put vocabulary briefly in the description of the video, and I will put the entire video in the playlist when it's complete. Thank you so much for being here. I got some great news about the harmonic vibrational manual being put in a few libraries. If you would like to see it in your library, call the library and ask them to for requests for a book. And you can request the harmonic vibrational manual in your library. So you can have it there, read, and you can get it out to more people, the information. Highest heart love. Thank you so much for being here, reading books with us, all the book lovers community, shaking it up. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. I want you to go out and have a wonderful day. It's time to go outside. We've had some rain. Like, yes. I love it when it rains here in LA, live from the light. And we had solar eclipse, Lorianne Speed's birthday, Jesse Jackson elevating, and the new moon. It's been filled with gloriousness and powerfulness. So we harness that. We've cleaned up, right? Now, let's just bring it in. Breathe it in. All through the breath. So thankful and grateful to the north, east, south, and west where I'm at now. Praying for healing for all my friends and family. Praying that all the light shines on them, allowing them to be able to see clearly and receive. Thank you so much. Hi, it's Heart. Have a wonderful day. I will see you soon when we reconvene in chapter 6 of Sacred Sounds. Ay, 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 ay. Love, love, love you. Ay, 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 ay. Love, 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 love you, you. And you know it, because I love myself. That's all I love. Peace, peace. I'll see you soon.